seated. Cochran is here, the attorneys are present, jury's all accounted for in the jury box. Let's call.
Thank you, Your Honor. People call Leslie Larson to the stand.
Would you please raise your right hand and be sworn?
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
If you need some more water, just let me know.
Thank you.
Your Honor, before we begin with Ms. Larson, I'd like to introduce a couple of exhibits. Starting with joint exhibit number 29, which is a disc containing all of the FBI photographs from the processing of the search warrant on August 31st and September 1st, 2015 at 66 Lawrence Street. And joint exhibit number 30, which is actually paper photographs of the scene processing as well, consisting of 1 through 28.
Is there joint exhibits?
Yes, sir.
Proceed.
Please state your name,
Leslie Larson.
and what is your occupation?
I'm a special agent with the FBI.
And how long have you been with the FBI?
18 years.
And how long have you been a special agent with the FBI?
13 years.
And prior to being a special agent, what did you do with the FBI?
I held several civilian positions.
And what types of positions were there?
Mail clerk, file clerk, and then I was an intelligence analyst.
And a special agent with the FBI, what exactly is your assignment?
My assignment is the senior team leader for our evidence response team.
And is the evidence response team, we've heard the term CSI, is it like a crime scene processing team?
Yes.
And what type of personnel make up your team?
Our team is made up of both special agent and civilian support staff, folks like engineers, biologists, intelligence analysts, automotive technicians, electronic technicians.
And what is your educational background?
I have a master's in criminal justice and psychology, and I have a master's in public service with emphasis on city infrastructure, urban planning, and design.
And what type of training, if any, do you have to be a special agent or an ERT team leader?
As a special agent, I completed a 17-week-long training academy on the Marine Corps base, Quantico, Virginia. And as an evidence response team member, I completed additional training, a 2-week course to become a crime scene technician with an additional add-on course to become a post-blast technician.
Do you have to have any proficiency or skills testing as you go through these trainings?
Yes, we conduct quarterly proficiency skills testing.
And where is your current assignment at?
I'm currently assigned to the Detroit field office of the FBI.
How did you become involved in this case?
I became involved in this case through Chief Rizzo contacted the FBI laboratory in Quantico, Virginia, and requested some technical assistance. So the laboratory reached out to me and put me in contact with Chief Rizzo.
And do you recall what the first thing you or your team did with respect to this investigation?
Yes, the first thing we did was a state search warrant at 66 Lawrence Street.
And a state search warrant, are you referring to a Michigan issued search warrant?
Yes.
As opposed to a federally issued search warrant?
Yes, that's correct.
Let me go back for a minute. What are, and I don't know if maybe this is a bad term, but do you have a mission, like when you are called in to assist with local authorities, when do you get involved with local authorities as opposed to federal authorities?
We do have an overall mission, and our overall mission is to identify, document, preserve, and collect evidence in a systematic manner. That's our official mission statement. As part of the FBI's overall global mission, we are to provide any assistance that we can to state and local law enforcement that don't have readily access to those resources themselves.
Are you called, is it normal or does it happen quite often where you may be called in after a scene has already been processed by a different agency or a different jurisdiction?
Yes.
And when does that occur typically?
That can happen in several different formats. One could be the initial warrants. The scope of the warrant was limited to where the first agency wasn't able to go in and collect many things, and additional intelligence was gathered throughout the course of the investigation, establishing probable cause to access an additional warrant to gather additional evidence. State and local law enforcement may not have the technical tools in their toolbox, so to speak, that we do, and additional warrants could be obtained specifically for us to bring additional technical tools to the scene.
Now, is it fair to say that the FBI evidence response team did a lot of things or collected a lot of things in this particular case?
We did have several call-outs to this area, yes.
And we had agents coming in from even out of state, is that accurate?
Yes, that's correct.
Does that cost the local jurisdiction anything?
No, it does not.
Now, you executed a search warrant at 66 Lawrence on August 31st, 2015. Do you recall what time you arrived?
Approximately 9 a.m.
And was the entire team there when you arrived, or was it just you and another individual going?
No, our whole team was with me.
When you arrive to process the scene, generally what is the first thing you do?
Generally, the first thing we do is a walkthrough of the structure or the scene to make sure that the scene is safe. As we're walking through, we're evaluating evidence. We're looking for any type of safety hazards that may exist in the structure, and then just kind of developing an overall search strategy for how we want to approach processing the scene.
Is there any type of debriefing, that is done on a case before you actually go and process the scene?
So we do a pre-mission brief before we get on scene, and that's so that all the technicians are on the same page. We know what is contained in the warrant, what we are and are not allowed to seize. And then at the end of the scene, we will do a debrief just to make sure that we've covered everything that we need to cover, that we didn't miss anything, and that everything was satisfied as far as the warrant is concerned.
And when you're working on a case, is it the same team members carried throughout the entire case, or do they change in and out depending on your needs?
They do. They can change in and out depending on our needs. For the most part, with the deployments up to this area, we kept the same personnel package.
Where did your search begin on that? Well, let me go back for a minute. On the screen, I have slide number 1 of exhibit number 30. Could you tell us what we're looking at in this picture?
Sure. This is the front of 66 Lawrence Street as you're. So it's taken from Lawrence Street, looking at the front of the structure.
And I know a ramp going up on the front. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And slide number 2, exhibit 30, what are we looking at in this picture?
So this is the same structure. You'll see all the trees in the center part of the photograph. The house is behind those trees, behind that telephone pole.
And slide number 3, what are we looking at in this picture?
This is the one side of 66 Lawrence Street.
And is it common to have your photographer, well, what does your photographer do when processing a scene?
The photographer first will take what we call entry photos. So those photos are taken before we do anything to the scene. So those photos will depict exactly what the condition is of the structure upon our arrival.
So this is the north side of the Cochran house towards the front?
Yes.
And slide number 4, what are we looking at in this picture?
This is the rear of the house. It's showing the rear entry door open.
And was the door open like that when you arrived?
No.
And what are we seeing on this view?
So you'll see a satellite dish in the middle of the screen. If you look to the left of the satellite dish, that shows the front entryway, and then to the right of the satellite dish is just the other side of the house.
And this is on the screen right now at this time is slide number 6, which is of Exhibit 30. What are we looking at in this photograph?
This is the state of the backyard upon our arrival.
And I see some wooden planks there. Is that just a decorative thing? Do you know?
I don't know if those are decorative or not, but they are in place as is, as we found them.
So slide number 7. What are we looking at in this picture?
This is another view of entry photo of the backyard area.
And in that photograph, do you see an alley?
Yes.
And I see another house in that photograph. What direction are we looking when we're in this photograph?
Kind of facing, looking south.
And slide number 8, what are we looking at in this photograph?
This is an entry photograph again, just another view of the backyard upon our arrival.
Slide number 9, what do we see in this photograph?
This is the back alleyway behind the house, and this is the detached garage of 66 Lawrence Street, and it was open upon arrival.
Was there something unusual about this alleyway? Did it go all the way through and around back to the street?
No, the alleyway ends one house after 66 Lawrence Street, so it is not a thoroughfare.
So does it end just past this garage?
It does, yes.
And in slide number 10, this is another view of the garage.
Yes.
What direction would we be looking, or what direction are we looking at in this picture?
North.
And what are we looking at in this picture?
This is another entry photograph of the side of the garage.
Are there some items stacked up against the side of the garage?
Yes.
Okay, and we say this side of the garage, what direction are we looking? Or, excuse me, what wall is that on the garage?
That's our west wall.
Okay. So the items that are stacked up against the garage, do you recall what they are?
Yeah, there were a variety of different wooden planks, pieces of wood. I think there might have been some pallet type material stacked up there.
Slide number 12 of Exhibit 30, what are we looking at in this picture?
This picture is the inside of the garage.
And would we be looking north in this picture?
Yes.
Some other items in the garage in slide number 13?
Yes, there's several plastic containers on the right-hand side of the photograph.
Now, before you guys went to the home, did you review some photographs of the residents prior to going to the location?
Yes.
Okay. And whose photographs did you review?
Michigan State Police.
And was there something about these bins that caught your attention in those photographs?
Yes, in the prior photographs, they were seated outside the rear entry of the main house.
And in this photograph there in the garage, did you find that to be interesting or unusual?
Yes, because they had been moved.
14, 15, slides 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 are photographs of the plastic bins that we just looked at in the last slide. Why did your photographer photograph these?
These bins were seized as evidence, and we had tested them with blood detection chemicals.
And we'll touch more on that in a little bit. Slide number 19 of Exhibit 30, what are we looking at here?
This is the open doorway to the rear entrance to 66 Lawrence Street.
Slide number 20, what are we looking at here?
This is just inside the back entryway. As you can go one of two directions in the doorway. You can turn and go left, which would lead you down the stairs into the basement area. You can turn and go right, which leads you up into like a little pantry area, and then you round the corner into the kitchen area.
And slide number 21, what are we looking at here?
So this is as you enter the back entryway, you walk up the stairs around the corner, and this shows you the beginning part of the kitchen.
And what are we looking at in this photograph?
This is the stairway leading down to the basement.
The slide number 24, what are we looking at in this photograph?
This is an entry photograph of the basement area.
Is this an additional photograph of the basement area, slide number 25?
Yes.
And slide number 26, is that also a photograph of the basement area?
Yes.
Slide number 27 as well?
Yes.
Slide number 28, do you recognize that item?
Yes.
And was that an item that was found or recovered by the FBI?
Yes, it was.
Just, where was that recovered?
The front entryway, where the ramp was leading up into the front door, the rabbit's hook was found directly underneath the ramp.
So where did your search begin when you guys arrived?
The beginning part of our search began in the garage area.
And what did you do first with respect to the garage?
First thing we did was just conduct a simple visual examination to see what was all in there and develop a strategy for processing the items that we saw.
And what was your strategy for processing the items in the garage?
So we did a visual examination of every item in there. We were looking for any type of obvious blood staining or tissue patterns left behind, and then anything within the four corners of the warrant.
And when you do a visual examination, do you use naked eye or do you use tools?
We do use the naked eye and we use flashlights.
And do you use ALS?
Yes.
Okay, what is ALS?
ALS stands for alternate light source. It's basically a machine that generates different wavelengths of light, which allows us through a filtering process to see things that we can't see with the naked eye.
And is UV light considered an alternate light source? So if you see something that looks, well, are you looking for stains?
Yes.
So if you see something that looks like a stain, and you've seen something in the garage that looks like a stain, what would you typically do with it?
So typically what we would do is isolate the area, so making sure that we can identify all of the different stains within that area to see how big the staining grouping is. Sometimes there are very small stains, sometimes there are very large stains like pools that would have been dried up and gone. Once we identify the staining, then we determine if we're going to introduce any type of chemicals to that stain.
And if you introduce chemicals to it, what types of tools do you use?
We use several different types of blood detection chemicals.
And that's specifically what you're looking for is blood, right?
Blood or bodily fluid.
So what type of blood detection chemicals were used in this case?
We use several different types of chemicals in this case. We used traditional luminol, which is often called Blue Star or Bloodhound. Those are the commercial names used for it. And then we used phenolphthalein and hemostix.
And what does Blue Star or luminol do?
Basically what it does is within the human body, the red blood cells contain hemoglobin, and the hemoglobin carries oxygen to the cells. Within the actual hemoglobin, the body holds onto iron. The blood detection chemicals latch onto the iron, and depending on what test we use, it will determine if the chemicals will actually turn a color or if they will fluoresce.
And if they fluoresce blue, thus the name Blue Star?
Yes.
So is this a spray that you spray onto items?
Blue Star and Bloodhound are sprays. Yes.
So what is phenolphthalein?
Phenolphthalein is also a blood detection chemical. It's not a spray. We would basically go in, obtain a swab of an area of interest, and then put the swab into our phenolphthalein, which is a 3-step process. If there is blood there, then it will give us a pink color.
And then what are hemosticks?
Hemosticks are the same thing that phenolphthalein is. It determines, instead of it turning that pinkish color when in the presence of blood, it turns green.
So all three of these tools will show you if there's blood there, but will they tell you if the blood is human or animal?
No, it will not.
So let's say something tests positive for blood. How do you determine if it's human or animal? What do you do in that situation?
If it tests positive, we go ahead and collect it, package it, write it down on our inventory, and then we send it out to the laboratory for confirmation testing.
Are any of these tests like layered? So if you don't get something with Blue Star, would you try the hemosticks?
Yes.
And why is that?
We do a layered approach just to make sure. We test all of our chemicals ahead of time before we would introduce it to any pieces of evidence, just to make sure that the chemicals are working. Sometimes we'll introduce Blue Star and then add a different layer of chemical on there just to make sure that we are getting indeed positive testing.
So let's say you get a positive test with Blue Star. Do you get a lot of false positives with these types of chemicals?
We can get false positives, yes.
What causes false positives in your experience?
False positives can be caused by several different things. One, iron in the naturally occurring cleaning products sometimes can give us some false positives as well.
What about mold? Would that give you a false positive?
Yes.
And when you learned that you were coming to Iron County to do some evidence collection, was there something about Iron County that caused you some concern?
Yes, Iron County did cause us concern just given the nature of all of the iron naturally occurring in this environment up here. We were worried about that.
So back to the garage, did you take any items from the garage, or did any items test positive that you thought you should take from the garage?
Yes.
And what were the items that were taken from the garage?
We took a baseball bat that was hanging on the wall, a sledgehammer head that was on the floor, and then the plastic bins that you saw earlier.
So all of these items tested positive for blood, right?
Yes,
Okay. Now, is this a presumptive test?
it is.
And what do you mean by presumptive test?
It's presumed to be blood. It gives us an indication such as a color change or a fluoresce. And once that color change happens, then we collect that, take it to the laboratory where they actually do the confirmation testing on to determine whether or not it is blood and if it is human blood or non-human blood.
And where was the bat located in the garage?
The bat was located on the west wall, hanging on 2 nails.
Are you able to see where it was located from this view? This is a slide depicting the garage.
It's on the left side of the garage,
This is slide number 12, towards the back.
toward the back.
And where was the sledgehammer head located?
I think it was on the ground.
And the plastic bins we see on the right-hand side in that picture?
Yes.
Are you aware whether any human remains dogs went through the garage before you arrived, or did they do it while you were there?
I was told that human remains dogs did go through the garage.
And were you told whether or not there were any hits?
Yes, I was told, and yes, there were hits.
And were they in the areas of any of these pieces of evidence?
I believe they were in the area where the baseball bat was.
Did you also conduct a hand search around the handicap ramp at the front of the house?
Yes.
Slide 1. And what did you find?
Underneath the ramp, we found the rabbit's foot, and then there was an area on the ramp that had been cut out that field tested positive for blood.
Okay. And what is a hand search?
A hand search is just what its name implies. We literally get down on our hands and knees and go through and move things to see if there's anything that was hidden or not readily apparent.
Did you do that through the entire yard at 66 Lawrence?
We did do a hand search, yes, hands and knees on the ground through the whole property.
Other than the rabbit's foot, was anything found during the hazard?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Was there anything unusual about the rabbit's foot in your experience?
It was an actual real rabbit's foot with real, meaning it came from a rabbit. You can see we could see the bones actually in the backside of the rabbit's foot that were exposed.
Did you leave the residence at one point in time and not return until after dark?
Yes.
And why did you do that?
The reason we did that was when we use chemicals such as Blue Star and Bloodhound, we have to have complete darkness in order for the chemicals to work, for us to be able to see the reactions fluoresce. And instead of having to tarp off the area, we decided to wait until nightfall and use the darkness to our advantage, kind of like a big tarp, like nature's tarp in a way.
And did any areas test positive with bloodhound and heme sticks at the residence that evening?
Yes.
And what areas of the residence tested positive with bloodhound?
The front entrance ramp tested positive. There were 2 pieces of rolled up carpet that were on the outside of the garage that tested positive. And then there were a series of wooden planks that were leaning up against the garage that also tested positive.
Did you take some other items from the home other than the rabbit's foot and the plastic bins that we talked about, baseball bat and sledgehammer?
Yes.
When you're processing the inside of a home, other than just testing for blood, do you do any swabbing?
We did.
Okay, where do you do swabbing at? Or first of all, why would you do swabbing?
Generally, we swab areas of items that we can't take with us. So countertops, door handles, windows, those kinds of things that we can't just take the item with us, we would conduct a swab.
And do you recall where you swabbed in the house?
I know we swabbed several different areas in the bathroom. I'd have to look at my notes to see the other areas.
Would your evidence recovery log help refresh your memory?
Yes.
Okay, and this has already been admitted as joint exhibit number 31. Have your say.
We took a DNA swab of the bathroom sink, shower handle, bathroom shower floor, drain swab, bathroom shower top entrance, bathroom shower shelf. And that's it for swabs.
Now, on exhibit 31, it appears that you took about 32 items. We mentioned a few, but did you take the doorknob?
Yes.
And do you know why the doorknob was taken?
Tested positive for blood.
And does it indicate which door it was taken from?
It indicates room C, which was the bathroom.
And was a metal grab bar taken, number 8?
Yes.
And why was that taken?
Tested positive for blood.
And what room was that in?
The bathroom.
And it appears that you took a black plastic hose and clear plastic piece.
Yes.
And where were those taken?
Those were taken from the washer area in the basement.
And those also tested positive for bloodhound?
Yes.
And item number 10. What is a liquid sample?
There was the shower on the first floor has a J trap that was accessible in the basement area, so we cut the trap out and extracted the liquid that was trapped in the J part.
And why would you do that?
Because it could have contained blood.
Item number 11, was that taken as well?
Yes,
And that's one of the carpet pieces that you mentioned that was outside by the garage?
yes.
You took a washing machine agitator. Why did you take that?
We took the washing machine agitator because we sprayed the inside of the washing machine and it tested positive for blood.
And where was the washing machine located?
In the basement.
And how many pieces of carpet did you take? Because I see another carpeting piece on item 13.
I believe we took 2 carpet pieces.
And you took the shower trap. What's the trap on a shower? Is that the J piece?
The J piece.
Item number 22, contents of a shop bag. Where was the shop bag located?
In the basement.
And why did you take the contents of the shop bag?
The shop bag contained a large amount of debris, which included hairs and fibers.
And did you also take the filter from the shop bag?
We did.
I see 3 wooden planks outside the building. Where were those taken from?
Those planks were up against the west wall of the garage on the outside.
And did those also test positive?
They did.
And it looks like item 26 and item 27 again were 3 more wooden planks and 2 more wooden planks. Were those all outside the garage?
Yes.
Now I see item 28, you took a section of drywall. Where was that taken from?
The drywall was taken from the east wall in room F, which would have been like a living room type room.
And why did you take the drywall?
We took the drywall because the drywall had paint on it, and behind the paint there were latent fingerprints.
And how could you see that there were latent fingerprints behind the paint?
We used the alternate light source to identify the latent prints behind the paint.
And does it fluoresce? What does it do?
It does.
You took number 29, 2 spools of plastic wrap. Where were those located?
The plastic wrap was located in room F on the floor, which is, room F is like a dining room type area.
And why did you take plastic wrap?
We took the plastic wrap because we thought plastic might have been used possibly in moving a body.
And how, just generally, how large was these spools of plastic wrap?
It was one entire spool, so a pretty good amount of plastic.
To be fair, was there any type of remodeling or painting or anything going on in that room when you took the plastic wrap?
Yes.
You took a front door?
We did.
Okay. And why did you take the front door?
Tested positive.
Where on the front door did it test positive?
On the inside of the front door.
And you also took a rear door, is that correct?
We did.
Okay. And where on the rear door did it test positive?
On the inside below the door handle.
I want to show you, I want to go back to the basement picture. The stairs going down to the basement. Was there anything unusual in this picture, anything that jumped out to you that seemed a little off?
We noted that the left wall appeared to have been freshly painted with white paint.
And why is it unusual that the wall was freshly, that left wall was freshly painted?
No other walls in the basement were painted.
And in this picture, are there areas that appear to be really weathered, I guess, or worn?
Yes.
Now, as part of your duties processing the crime scene, maybe it's not your duties, maybe one of your team members' duties, do you prepare a diagram of the scene?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and what does the diagram consist of?
The diagram oftentimes consists of a blueprint or a bird's eye view of what the structures look like floor by floor.
And I have, it's already been admitted as joint exhibit number 32. diagram of the scene of the Cochran home. Was that prepared by you or was it prepared by a team member?
One of my teammates.
Okay. And I'm not going to put it up on the screen, but because you won't be able to see it very well, if the court would allow me at this time, I'd like to publish it to the jury.
Go ahead.
Did we talk about you guys leaving the residence and coming back later that night?
Yes, we did.
Okay. I want to move on now to October 2nd, 2015. Did you process a burn barrel and a cinder block on that date?
Yes, I did.
And where were those items when you processed them?
They were in the garage bay of Iron River Police Department.
And how did you process them?
I photographed them and conducted a visual examination.
Did you utilize a tape measure for any purpose?
I did.
And what was that purpose?
I placed a tape measure in the photographs to show the size of the items that I was photographing.
And did you inspect the inside of the burn barrel?
Yes, I did.
Did you find anything in the burn barrel?
Yes.
What did you find?
I found a small piece of foam in one sock.
And what did you do with those items?
I photographed them.
And did you return them to the burn barrel after photographing?
Yes.
With respect to the burn barrel itself, could you describe for the jury what it looked like and what relation it had, if any, to the cinder block?
The burn barrel was a standard 55-gallon drum with holes in it. The entire inside and outside of the burn barrel was rusted over, and the bottom was fairly weak. There were several holes throughout the whole can. And the cinder block had a string tied around it, and there was a significant amount of mold on it.
Did you come back to Iron County on October 12th, 2015 with a dive team?
Yes, I did.
And why did you bring a dive team?
We brought a dive team to suction dredge an area of the Caspian pit.
And how did you determine what area of the Caspian pit to search?
The area was determined because this was the area where the burn barrel was recovered from.
And was there anything else that might have been done before you got here, or that you might have been told was done before you got here, that helped you determine what area to search?
Yes, there was. I was told that there was a human remains dog that was placed in a boat of some sort in the Caspian pit, and it did alert, positive alert for human remains.
So, what exactly did you do with respect to the dive team?
We set up a 50 by 50 foot by 50 foot search area just off the shore where the barrel was recovered, and our primary mission was to suction dredge that 50 foot by 50 foot area, which we did. The suction dredge brought the material up from the bottom of the Caspian pit, and it forced it through a series of sifters. Then we sifted through all of that material, looking for any type of skeletal remains or any type of evidence in that general area.
And there was nothing of evidence of value recovered during that search?
We did recover 6 items of evidence.
And do you recall what those items were?
Some plastic pieces and some metal pieces and 3 insects.
Nothing that appeared to be directly related to this investigation?
No.
On October 22nd, 2015, did you retrieve some fire pit ash evidence that had been submitted to the Michigan State University Forensic Anthropology Department?
Yes, I did.
And if you know, can you tell us why the ash would be submitted to the Forensic Anthropology Department?
Yes, the ash was submitted to MSU's Anthropology Department for a forensic exam to find any skeletal remains inside the ash.
And to your knowledge, were any human or non-human bones located?
None.
Were there miscellaneous items located in the ash?
Yes.
And what types of miscellaneous items were located?
There were screws, nails, different pieces of building material, what appeared to be manufactured lumber, pieces of drywall. I think there was a crunched up piece of plastic as well.
And what did you do with this evidence?
This was returned to Iron River Police Department.
On October 26, 2015, and October 27, 2015, did you conduct 2 additional searches?
Yes.
And tell me about the search on October 26th.
The search on October 26th took place on Western Road in Florence County, Wisconsin. It was a wooded area where we were told prior to our arrival that a human remains dog had hit on 6 different areas in this wooded environment. Our primary mission was to identify those 6 areas. We conducted thorough searches and established a 25-foot radius around each of the 6 points where the dogs hit. We removed all of the organic material on top, and then Doug removed all of the dirt down below. We removed the dirt in order to determine if any of that dirt had been moved prior. And how we do that is we dig test holes to determine where the soil striations are. If we get down to an area where we're seeing soil striations, we know that that is parent soil or soil that's never ever been moved before. If we're digging and we're seeing kind of mottled soil, that gives us an indication that that soil had been moved in some way, shape, or form. So we did that with 6 holes, and then we developed a 7th hole. We did that as well, and we did not find any human remains.
Did you go back to that location that evening?
We did.
And what was the purpose of doing that?
So we went back to that location that night, again using the darkness to our advantage. We brought out our alternate light source. When alternate light source set at 450 nanometers, it produces a blue light, and using orange goggles it filters out the other wavelengths of light. When that light touches human remains or hits human remains, the remains glow orange. So human remains can look like sticks and twigs and things that you would naturally see in the woods. By going back at night, the sticks and twigs won't glow, but the actual bones will glow. So that will allow us to search an area with in darkness looking for bones that will glow.
And any success that evening?
No.
On October 27th, 2015, you conducted another search. Where was that conducted?
On October 27th, we conducted 4 searches using a digital evidence dog. So this dog is trained to identify and find electronic devices, thumb drives, cell phones, key fobs, anything with a battery. So we looked at 66 Lawrence Street on the outside of the property. We went to the Caspian Pit, looked around that area. We went to the Bates Park and Ride and looked in the wooded area in and around there. And then there's an area across the street from Bates Park and Ride down by a body of water, and we searched all in that area as well.
Is the dog, I guess the digital evidence dog, something that you typically have on hand, or is that brought in especially for this case?
Was brought in especially for this case.
Where does the handler and that dog live?
Florida.
With respect to, no results on that, right?
No.
On October 12th, 2015, did you execute some search warrants in Indiana?
On November 12th, yes.
Okay. And where in Indiana were you?
Maryville, Indiana.
And Your Honor, for the record, we've already marked joint exhibit number 33, which are photographs of a Ford pickup truck that was searched in Indiana on November 12th, 2015, pickup truck belonging to Jason Cochran. And I move for that's admission, and joint exhibit number 34 are paper photographs of that.
What was the photograph of the truck, 33?
33 was the disc containing a complete set of photographs. 34 are paper copies of the photographs, which will appear on PowerPoint that were just selected for demonstration purposes.
They're both received.
So how many search warrants did you have to execute in Indiana on November 12th?
4.
And what were those search warrants for? What items were supposed to be searched?
First search warrant that we conducted was on the defendant's dog.
And where was the dog located?
The dog was located on Mississippi Street in Maryville, Indiana.
And did any department or other agency assist you with the dog?
Yes.
The dog search, it sounds strange, but what other agency assisted you?
Lake County Sheriff's Department and Lake County Animal Control.
And how did this happen? How did the search take place?
We arrived at Mississippi Street, made contact with the homeowners, found the dog. We placed the dog in the back of the animal control van. The dog was completely cooperative, and we took several photos of the dog, and then we pulled hair from the dog and cut hair from the dog for comparison samples for the laboratory.
And when you pull the cut hair, how do you package it?
In a druggist's fold, so in a folded piece of paper.
And you said the dog was cooperative. Have you had times when dogs are not cooperative?
Yes.
No issues with this particular dog?
No.
What was the second item that you searched for?
The second item was major case prints.
And where was that search conducted?
That was conducted on Jason Cochran at the FBI office in Maryville, Indiana.
And what are major case prints?
Major case prints are a series of prints where we obtain all of the different print patterns on the human hand.
And we had a latent print analyst testify this morning about friction ridge skin and where it's at. How do these differ from just standard fingerprints that might be taken if I'm going to apply for a pistol license, a concealed pistol license?
So if you apply for a pistol license, you'll be fingerprinted in what we call a 10 print card. So most folks have 10 fingers. So only the pads of those fingers would be taken. Major case prints allows us a lot more detail on the hand, so we're actually able to go in and take all of the friction ridge detail from the entire hand, which includes the palmar surface, as well as any of the sides and the fingertips, as well as the wrist cuff down here.
Why do you need them in a case?
So we typically get them in cases when folks leave fingerprints behind. They can leave them behind in many shapes and forms. It's not always what you would capture on the 10 print card being the actual pad of the finger. People could touch with their fingertips and move documents back and forth, or open and close doors, or use whole palms to push off or close or shut things.
So you indicated that you first printed Jason. How did he get to the location?
He was transported there by, I believe, FBI agents.
And where was the defendant, if you know, while he was having his prints taken?
I believe the defendant was at work.
Were there any issues with printing Mr. Cochran?
No.
And what was his demeanor during that time frame?
He was cooperative.
And who or what did you do after you printed Jason Cochran?
We conducted major case prints on the defendant.
And how did the defendant get to the location?
The defendant was transported there, I believe, by FBI agents as well.
And were they in different rooms when they were printed?
Yes.
What was her demeanor?
She was cooperative.
Did you obtain anything else from the defendant that day?
Yes.
And what did you obtain?
Pulled and cut hairs from her head.
And how do you execute that warrant? Just as it sounds?
Just as it sounds, yep. We explained to the defendant what we were about to do. We took 25 pulled hairs and 25 cut hairs, which is what our standard is. It's from 5 different areas on the top of the head.
Okay. And why pulled hairs?
The laboratory requests pulled and cut hairs. The pulled hairs allow the lab to access the root ball in the hair, which may contain information that is helpful to the investigation.
And what was the last search warrant that you executed that day?
We executed a search warrant on a 2007 white Ford F-150 pickup truck.
And where was the pickup truck located when the FBI took possession of it?
The pickup truck was at the defendant's workplace.
And how did it get from the defendant's workplace to the location?
Flatbed, flatbed tow truck.
So where was the truck when you first had contact with it?
The truck was parked directly outside of the FBI's garage.
And is one of the first things that you do again have a photographer take pictures of the vehicle?
Yes,
And you indicated it was a 2007 Ford F-150?
yes.
We're looking at slide number 1 of exhibit number 34. What do you see in that picture?
That's the pickup truck that we searched.
And was it in fair condition?
Yes.
Is missing anything in that picture that you see?
Yes, it's missing the rear hubcap.
And the rear hubcap, let's go back for a moment, on slide 1 of exhibit number 34. What side of the vehicle is that on?
The passenger side.
And in slide number 2, what are we looking at in that picture?
This is a photograph of the truck that we searched on the driver's side.
Slide number 3, what are we looking at what are we looking at in that picture?
This is an entry photograph of the state of the bed of the truck prior to the search.
In that picture, I see a box on the right-hand side. Could you tell us what that box was?
The box on the right-hand side is a 2-drawer file cabinet.
And it appears that there's some poles or some other items. Do you know what those items were?
There were links of PVC pipe and a spare tire.
And is that a toolbox in the back of the truck?
Yes.
This is slide number 4. What are we looking at in this picture?
This is an entry photograph of the inside compartment shot from the passenger side.
And there's some miscellaneous items on the seat and on the floor in that picture.
Yes.
Do you know what those items were?
I believe there was a black suitcase and then a small red bag and some other miscellaneous, like a Meyer plastic bag with some other miscellaneous items in there.
This is slide number 6. Excuse me, let me make sure that's correct. Slide number 5. What are we looking at in this picture?
This is an entry photograph of the driver's side of the pickup truck.
Slide number 6, what are we looking at in that picture?
Entry photograph of the toolbox in the back of the bed.
And slide number 7, what is in that picture?
This is a photograph from inside the toolbox showing a Ryobi drill.
And slide number 8, what are we looking at in this picture?
This is the rear passenger side tire without a hubcap.
And do you take pictures of all the tires?
We do.
Okay. And do you also take pictures of the tread on the tires?
We do.
And what is the purpose of that?
Thorough documentation.
Okay, before we get to exhibit number 9, or slide number 9, I'm going to just pause here and ask you some more questions. You photographed the exterior of the truck. What did you do next?
Next, there was a human remains dog that ran the truck.
And were there any positive hits on the truck?
Yes.
Okay, where were those hits?
There was a hit. The dog ran the exterior of the truck first. It hit on the truck bed area on the driver's side. It hit on the front passenger tire area. It also hit on the passenger side interior floorboard. And I'm not sure if it hit anywhere else.
The toolbox area?
In the toolbox area.
Okay, when you say the toolbox area, where around the toolbox area did it hit?
It hit underneath the toolbox. There's a small gap where the toolbox rests. It doesn't rest flush with the bed of the truck. So the dog hit down in that area, and then it also hit inside the toolbox.
And there were a bunch of items in the toolbox that we saw in those pictures. Did the dog get in the toolbox with those items?
Yes.
And were the items taken out of the toolbox?
Not at the time the dog ran. The items stayed in there during the dog search, and we ultimately took the items out.
What did you do after the humans remain stuck went around the trunk?
We moved the truck from outside to inside the garage space.
And what did you do after that?
After that, we did a search of the inside of the truck and the outside of the truck in the tool bed area.
And how do you do a search of a vehicle like this?
We take everything out and we put it on paper and then we photograph it.
And do you have to inventory all the items that are taken out and where they're taken from?
We do a photographic inventory.
So you take them out, lay them out, photograph them. Do you then search the interior of the vehicle?
Yes.
And how do you search the interior?
We sprayed the interior of the vehicle with luminol.
And did anything fluoresce with luminol?
Yes.
What areas fluoresced?
The driver's seat area, the seat is a bench seat, so there was a small area near the driver's seat that tested positive, and then the seat or the steering wheel.
And we're on slide number 5. Is this a view of the area that tested positive, or is there part of the area that tested positive in this picture?
Yes.
Okay. And where is that area located?
There were 3 areas that tested positive. On the driver's seat, you can see a small amount of staining in the center part of the seat that tested positive, and then if you go a little farther in the center console area of the seat portion, there's a part there that tested positive, as well as the steering wheel.
Did you look at the passenger side floorboard area and do anything with respect to that where the dog had hit?
We did, we sprayed there.
Okay, and what were the results?
Negative.
Were there other parts of the trunk that did fluoresce?
Yes.
What parts were those?
The toolbox and the bed area of the trunk.
And was there anything on the steering wheel?
Yes, the steering wheel did glow.
So something like the steering wheel, obviously you're not going to take the steering wheel as evidence. What do you do with the steering wheel?
We swabbed it.
And then was there something that you did with respect to the bench seat or the seats?
We also took swabs of that area as well.
Did you spray anywhere else?
Yes, we sprayed the toolbox area in the back of the truck, and then the whole bed of the truck.
And was there anything positive at the toolbox area?
Yes,
And the toolbox area, you had taken out the tools already, right?
we did.
So you're not going to take the toolbox with you back to Quantico. What did you do with the toolbox?
We swabbed the areas that glowed.
Okay, this is slide number 9. What do we see in this picture?
These are some of the items that were removed from the toolbox from the bed of the truck.
And did you spray these items with luminol?
We did.
And in slide number 9, was there anything that luminesced or fluoresced?
Yes.
And what items were those?
The Ryobi Sawzall in the upper right corner, and the Sawzall blades and blade container just below the Sawzall.
Were there other items that were also taken that luminesced that were in the vehicle?
Yes.
Do you recall what those items were?
I believe they were 4 socks.
And was there a black plastic piece?
And there was a black plastic piece, yes.
Is the black plastic piece or the socks in this particular picture?
No.
But there was a sawzall and 4 blades, right?
Yes.
I'm showing you slide number 10. What are we looking at in this picture?
This is the open toolbox with all the tools removed.
And this also tested positive?
It did.
How big was this toolbox?
It was the full width of the vehicle.
And how deep was it?
It was probably 18 to 20 inches deep.
When you spray something and it luminesces or fluoresces, whatever the proper term is there a way to capture that with photography?
Yes.
Is it always successful?
No.
Slide number 11 of Exhibit 34, what are we looking at in this picture?
This is the toolbox area of the truck with all the contents removed.
And it's really bright in this picture. Why is it so bright?
It's overexposed.
And why is it overexposed?
Oh, it was just a misfire of the camera.
Oh, it was? Okay. I thought that had something to do with actually trying to capture the...
Not in this one.
Okay. Okay, item number 12. This is actually a slide number 12. What are we looking at in slide number 12?
Sure. And slide number 12, this is the toolbox in complete darkness. If you look closely, you can see little blue lights spread throughout the photograph. Those little blue lights are what Blue Star looks like when it fluoresces and it hits positive on blood.
So it almost looks like a blue laser pointer
Yeah,
dotted on the screen. Is that correct?
yes.
So you took those items, you swapped the toolbox. Were there other items in the vehicle?
Yes.
What other items were in the vehicle?
We took some paperwork out of the interior of the vehicle.
And when you have paperwork in a vehicle, what do you have to do with it?
We have to catalog it.
And we were looking at, let's see, I think slide number 13. Is that some of the paperwork that was in the vehicle?
Yes.
Slide number 14 as well?
Yes.
And slide 15?
Yes.
So you cataloged it with photographs. Did you do anything else with respect to the paperwork?
Yes, we were able to photocopy it.
So you photocopied all the paperwork?
We did.
When you complete a search, does the FBI have like specific procedures they have to do when they complete a search?
Yes.
Especially like something like this in the vehicle?
Yes.
What do you have to do?
We have to write a report that documents all of our actions taken on that day.
Well, and you've taken all of the items out of the vehicle, you've photographed all the paperwork, so it's all outside the vehicle. What do you do with it?
All of the items that we don't take as evidence, we put back into the vehicle.
And do you have to take photographs to document what you did with respect to putting all of the items back in the vehicle?
We did. We call them exit photographs. So we put all the items back in the vehicle, and then we take photographs documenting what the vehicle is or what the house looks like upon our departure.
Your Honor, we have joint exhibit number 35 that I'm going to have to get remarked. What we would move for those, the admission of
Going to be
joint exhibit.
35.
Yeah, it's the evidence recovery log, Your Honor, listing what was taken from the vehicle. It consists of it consists of one page. There was a second page originally attached to the items I marked, but they have nothing to do with the evidence recovery log. Did you also do something in March of 2016?
Yes.
And what did you do in March of 2016?
We searched a wooded area on Pentoga Trail.
And you're probably not that familiar with Pentoga Trail. Where was the area located? Was it closer to Highway US 2?
Yes.
How big of an area did you search?
Approximately 2 football fields.
And how many people did search this area? Approximately.
6 to 8.
And were there any dogs available to search the area?
Yes.
Was there weather conditions that, I guess, impacted the search of the area?
Yes.
Was anything of interest found that day?
No.
Did you come back in May of 2016?
No.
Or was it June of 2016?
May, I received items.
Oh, you received items. What did you receive in May of 2000?
I received several black garbage bags and some bones.
And what did you do with those items?
I photographed them, and then I tested the black garbage bags for the presence of blood.
And what were the results of testing the black garbage bags?
Negative.
And what did you do with the bones?
Photographed the bones, and I sent those photographs to the FBI's forensic anthropologist in the laboratory.
And she will not be testifying, will be admitting her report by stipulation, but do you know what the results of the testing, or what the results of the testing of the bones was?
The bones were non-human.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Shoki.
Oh, Your Honor, may I publish the scene? Oh, no, I already did. Never mind.
Afternoon, how you doing?
Good afternoon.
Fair to say your role in this is more of a collection and an analysis. I know you kind of a preliminary analysis to see if something is of interest, but you can't really tell the circumstances behind the test. You can't tell whose blood it may be or things of that nature. Would that be a fair thing to say?
Yes.
So, for example, if you were to come into this room and attend this crime scene, you probably go through, take some photos, look at some areas, maybe spray some of your chemicals around and see if anything glowed or turned pink or blue or green, and then if they did, send that off to the lab for further analysis.
That's correct.
So, for example, if this water bottle here, you spray your chemical and it turned whatever one of the colors we're looking for, you send that away then, correct?
Yes.
And you wouldn't know at the time if it was human blood, if it was, first of all, positively blood, it's just a preliminary test, correct?
That's correct.
You want to know if it's human blood, correct?
Correct.
You want to know whose blood it was, if it was human.
Correct.
You want to know how long it's been there or how it got there.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. And I think you said for all the things that were glowing, we'll call it, that were seized at the Cochran home, correct? They're glowing. You don't know the circumstances, if it's human blood or not, or whose blood, or how it got there, just that it potentially had some blood on it. Would that be a fair thing to say?
Correct.
Same thing for the inside of the home. Also fair to say?
Correct.
Okay. And I'll sound a little bit like a broken record. The same thing for the items in the truck that were preliminarily testing positive, correct?
Correct.
Now, you also recovered a burn barrel from the Caspian pit, is that correct?
I did not recover the burn barrel.
Now, I should rephrase my question. It was recovered, that you looked at a burn barrel that was recovered from the Caspian pit, correct?
I did look at a burn barrel, yes.
Okay. But it's from the Caspian pit, correct?
Yes.
And again, we don't know, you wouldn't know whose burn barrel it was, how it got there, how long it was there for.
That's correct.
Now, I think you mentioned, and maybe if I misheard you, I do apologize. Did you mention that at one point a cadaver dog hit over a location in Florence County? Did I hear that correct? I just want to make sure I heard that.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then you went over to that scene as a potential spot that may have some interest, correct?
Yes, there were 6 spots.
Okay, thank you for correcting me. Again, we're looking at a burn barrel. I think you found foam and sock. I think there's a burn barrel that was found in the Cochran yard. Am I correct on that?
I'm sorry.
Did you find you found a foam and a sock, I believe, in the burn barrel? Did I hear that correctly, or
There was a piece of foam and a sock from the burn barrel that I examined.
Okay, is this the same burn barrel as the Caspian pit, or is this a different one?
Yes, that's the same burn barrel.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure. Again, you wouldn't know how long that sock or whose sock or how it got there. You wouldn't know that either, correct?
No.
You examined some ash as well. I think you said you found some bits of plywood and perhaps some nails and screws and things of that nature.
I did not conduct that exam. That was done by the anthropologist at Michigan State University.
Okay, but you reviewed their findings and that's what
Yes.
they found, correct?
Correct.
And so it's construction type materials. Would that be a fair thing to say?
Yes.
You were there when Mr. and Mrs. Cochran were called into your office down in Indiana to provide fingerprint samples and hair samples, correct?
Yes.
And you described Jason Cochran's demeanor as cooperative.
Yes.
Okay. Well, was he happy to be there? Did he seem happy to be there?
Yes. I mean, I would say yes.
Did he seem nervous at all?
No, he did not seem nervous.
And then you took some hair samples as well, so you cut 25 pieces of hair from each of them and pulled 25 hairs from each of them. Without you personally, but someone.
No, Jason Cochran did not have any hair, so we did not pull any hairs.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to clarify there. But from my client, you took 25. There's 25 hairs were pulled, is that correct?
25 hairs were pulled and 25 hairs were cut.
Which must have been fun, having 25 hairs pulled.
Right.
You indicated that in the truck there was, I think you called it a suitcase. Now, what was in that suitcase? Did you go into that container?
I don't remember the contents of the suitcase.
Okay. Well, was it a suitcase like you traveled up here soon? Was it a suitcase that you packed up to bring in the clothes, or was it more of a briefcase with paperwork in it?
I think it was more of a small suitcase that you could put items in.
Okay, but were there, again, if you don't recall, it's fair enough. Were there clothing items in there, or is it more paper type items?
I think there were some clothing items and there were paper items in there as well.
I'm just about done with the other Dutch. One more question, two more questions. You indicated that you found this, no, I shouldn't say you, when I say you, I mean you and your team, I guess. I should clarify that to start with. But that this rabbit's foot was found under or near the ramp at the Cochran home, is that correct?
Yeah, it was under the ramp.
Okay, and again, it's your function to find these things and send them off to see if that makes significance, correct?
Yes.
And you would know the backstory of that rabbit's foot, how long it was there, whose it was, or anything like that?
No, I don't know that.
Just know where it was and set it off.
That's correct.
I cannot believe I have any more questions.
Thank you. Be direct, limited the scope to cause.
Mr. Schulke was asking you some questions about the burn barrel, and he showed photographs of the burn barrel. Was the burn barrel rusty,
Yes, it was.
corroded?
Yes.
When you were at the Cochran residence at 66 Lawrence Street executing that search warrant, did you have a discussion with Chief Rizzo regarding a location where you thought a burn barrel might have been located?
Yes.
Okay. And where was that location?
There were several pads of concrete behind the house, in between the house and the garage, and there was an area on one of the pads of concrete that had a circle the size roughly of what a burn barrel would look like.
I think she's trying to get the slide up here. And I'm not sure what slide they were looking at. For the record, we're looking at slide number 6 of exhibit, I believe it's 30. Do you see anything on this concrete pad that you pointed out to Chief Rizzo?
Yes.
Okay, and what do you see on the concrete pad?
On the concrete pad in the upper left of the photograph, you can make out a faint circle in like a greenish color on the concrete.
And that's what you pointed out to Chief Rizzo as possibly being associated with the burn barrel?
Yes,
Possibly being the word, right?
possibly.
Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you. You can step down and without objection, you'll be excused. Ms. Pohl?
Your Honor, we do not have any additional witnesses today. I anticipate tomorrow will be a lengthy day, no more.
All right. Members of the jury, sometimes this evidence goes in quicker than other times, and this is one of those days we're going to take our evening recess. Again, just a reminder, and I know you're getting tired of me saying this, but you cannot have any contact at all with the witnesses or the attorneys or the party. You can have no conversations with anyone about anything with respect to the case. Please stay away from media, print media, and visual media. It would be improper to view any of that during the course of the trial. Please don't do any independent investigation of your own on any of your handheld devices or more traditional sources of research. All right, you're excused. Have a good evening. Yes, sir.
What do we do with these?
I'll collect them.